It's time for the Douglas Coleman Show. Mr. Smooth and Savvy is joined by guests from all walks of life, from the entertainment industry to authors to political and social commentators, the famous and not so famous, the controversial and the light and fluffy. We have it all. Now, here's Douglas Coleman.
Hey, ho there. Hey there, hi there. Welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show. It's me, Douglas Coleman. How are you? This is actually an all-Coleman show because my guest today is Michael Coleman. And Michael is an artist, as he says, a musician, songwriter, composer, and he's got a company called See Your Shadow. He'll tell us about all of that. We've got 2 tracks of his to play as well. His hit song that is currently out, called I Will Tell Jesus You Said Hello, is a fantastic song featuring Drew Middleton and Katelyn Dwyer. And then as a lead into his interview, we've got another song that he did. This is an instrumental called My Worth. It's a great kind of rock and roll, new country-ish kind of thing. Great song. And we've got more music to play. This is a music show, which I'm always happy to do. Then I don't have to talk so much. And that's how we got started in the first place, was playing music 5 years ago. Seems like it was just yesterday, but then it also seems like it was about 150 years ago. Some of you may have seen on Facebook, we posted that we're going to be starting a video edition of this show. I'm very excited about it. We're just getting the studio set up now, hanging green screen on the walls and trying to figure out what to set up for our stage setup. It's going to be interesting, you know. We're starting this from scratch, and we'll see how it goes. It'll be a little bit different. It's going to be shorter than the hour-long podcast. We're only going to do a half-an-hour show, one guest, and probably no music unless somebody sends us a video and they want us to play that, which we can do. Little different twist. We'll do the podcast as well, but the guests that'll be on the video version of the show won't be on the podcast. So it'll be 2 different shows, which hopefully will work out. I hope to have the first video show up and running sometime in mid-July. So maybe in about 5-6 weeks from now, I hope, if everything goes according to plan. After the interview with Michael Coleman, we've got music to play from Music Submit submissions. Thank you to everybody who has been submitting on Music Submit. We appreciate it. We are receiving lots of great music and are always happy to play it. First one up is Dancing with the Moon by Kudos, followed by Playing with Fire by Bill March, and finally Worthy by Thurane, Thurane. And then we've got one track from MTS Management Group, which is Michael Stover, who brought us Michael Coleman. So this is a track called Whiskey Alley Blues by Izzy's Caravan. So lots to get to. We will be right back with Michael Coleman.
Hurry, Bullwinkle! The show's about to start!
I'm coming as fast as I can.
And now...
Hey, Rocky, watch me pull a rabbit out of my hat.
Again?
Nothing up my sleeve. Presto! Ooh, don't know my own strength.
Now here's something we hope you'll really like.
Okay, please welcome to the Douglas Coleman Show, Michael Coleman. Hey, Michael, how are you?
Oh, I'm doing pretty good. And it was interesting when I saw this, that we were going to be speaking. I was wondering, could this be a relative, a long-lost one? I've got a lot out there that I don't know yet and haven't met.
Well, it's entirely possible. My family is from, two different sides. I've got family, the Coleman anyways, is from the Northeast, Boston, New York area. And then there's another branch of the Colemans that were from Georgia and Kentucky. So I don't know. We could be related somewhere in there. It's possible. Anyways, let's see. You are a musician, singer-songwriter, music producer, yeah?
I classify myself as an artist because, I write and produce music, and I do photography. I'm a filmmaker. I do a lot of things in the arts, but music has always been the flagship. And as the artistic director of See Your Shadow Songwriting, I'm the creative force behind all of the organization's projects and its chief writer. So.
Okay, tell us a little about See Your Shadow. What do you guys do?
See Your Shadow Songwriting is a collaborative network of singers, musicians, and just people who have a passion for the arts. And what we do is just create art. And like I said, music is our flagship. That's why songwriting is in the name. And it's just, the organization itself just brings people together to do what they love, which is to create music. And we have a network of that's pretty big, and it just encompasses a lot of people that just have that particular passion.
Okay, so I'm trying to figure out. So it's a collection of songwriters, artists, singers, all of that, yeah. Yeah,
I mean, generally, unless I'm collaborating with somebody, it's generally all my work. And I guess in a nutshell, the best way to say it's the people that bring my work to life. And we're just a creative organization bringing my work to life.
All right. You came to us through Michael Stover, who we've worked with for a number of years now. And I have to give Michael credit that every one of the artists that have come through him have always been great. Their music is always really great. But you are unique in the sense that he told us specifically that you do not put out a personal bio because you want people to ask you questions. And I thought that was rather cool. I kind of like that idea. Rather than just telling everybody who you are and what you do, in your background and all of that right up front, you make us kind of work for it. So good. All right. I like that. So why don't you just tell us a little bit about your background and how you got to this point? We've got a couple of tracks. I think we can play one of them. Tell us a little about yourself, and then we'll play one of your songs.
Well, I am an all-around. I classify myself as an all-around Renaissance guy because I do so many different things in the creative arts. Like I mentioned earlier, I do the music. I'm a filmmaker, photographer. Just anything that has anything to do with bringing something creative to life, and it's and all original, and it's just one of my biggest passions is, I have two passions actually: show business and people, and through the work that I do, I'm able to fulfill both of those passions because of all the people that we work with in our network, and then creating the work that we do create. I think I learned a long time ago when I was really young that I had this passion for show business and the arts, and and I just tried to foster that over the years, and just get better at doing what I'm doing, and I think that it's important that when we have a passion that we do explore it and do fulfill what could be deemed as our mission, in life. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to not only have the talent to do so, but to be able to help others along and bring others along while I'm fulfilling my purpose, and I'm the bridge for other people to fulfill their purpose as well.
Were you one of those kids that was always singing and dancing around when you were like?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Well, most definitely. I was one of those. I was one of those kids. I was preparing for another interview, and I was reflecting back on when I first started music. And I'll never forget it. I was 9 years old, and I wanted to learn how to play an instrument, because the band director from the junior high school came to my elementary school and was recruiting. And so I rushed home, and after school let out, and I was trying to convince my mom, to let me to let me learn an instrument. And of course, we didn't have a lot of money, so my mom was really concerned with, okay, how much is it going to cost? And of course, at that time they were running a program, and it was free. They even gave you the instruments, and as long as you played for the orchestra. And so as I was trying to convince her to let me be part of this program, I just blurted out that I wanted to play the violin. I had no idea where that came from, or whatnot, and that was how it all got started. Me trying to convince my mom to let me play in the orchestra at this junior high school when I was 9, and violin was the first instrument that popped in my head while we were talking about it, and so and then the rest is history.
So, how good of a violin player are you now?
Not well. It is something that I think I ended up making first chair when I was in the orchestra, but then I gave all that up to join the band, and so I did band and orchestra when I was growing up, and then it just went from there. I thought the percussion section was more interesting than the orchestra, and the marching band toured all over the country. So that was a way for me to get out and do things. So I ended up giving it up. But that training has helped me, though, moving forward here when we're talking about what notes are what, and and how to move a piece forward.
Well, the music theory part of it is probably real helpful, yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. So I'm able to to understand and then comport what I want to relay what I want to the people that I'm working with.
Okay, can you read music well?
Yes and no. I on the piano, I'm better at the right hand than I am the left.
Oh, okay. I'm the opposite way on the piano. I'm better on the left than the right. But that's because I'm left-handed, so that might have something to do with it. No, that's interesting. See, I can't sight read music at all. I mean, I'd have to, if I put a piece of music in front of me, I put my finger up there and I'm like, okay, that dot goes to this key, that dot goes to this key. Forget it. There's just no way that I've seen guys that you put stuff in front of them and they just right through it. And I'm always amazed to see something like that, because it's just, I can't do that at all. But if I can hear a song, I can probably play it. I mean, it's a pop tune or something. I'm not going to be able to do something that's real complex, the first time out. I'd have to hear that a few times, My ear's fine, and I've always had that sort of argument in my head whether or not it would have helped me along to really understand theory and to really be able to sight read well. And I guess the answer is depending on what you're doing. Because I think if you're a road musician or a studio musician where you're constantly playing other people's music and you need to be able to learn it very quick, then the ability to sight read quickly is very helpful. If you're only playing your own stuff, then it's all in your head and you don't really need, the music. That's my answer to that.
It's exactly. And what has helped me is, especially helps me when I go to when I have to direct my vocalist. So I'll sit down and write out the melody and write out the notes that I want them to hit and whatnot, and so they have a lead sheet to know how to sing, because a lot of and you probably know this, being in the music yourself, that it's harder to sing an original piece that's never been done before as opposed to performing a piece that you may be familiar with. I think people need more coaching, at least in order to do something that's completely original, and that they're the ones doing it for the first time.
Oh, well, yeah, I would agree with that, because when I write a song for the first time and I sing it, and then I sing it again, and I sing it again, and I sing it again, and after about the 10th time, I've got 10 different melodies. And then I got to figure out, okay, which one am I going to use for the recording? Because it changes. You kind of like finding your way through the song, And once you get to the end, you do it again and you say, no, I'm going to flip that note, or I'm not going to go so high there. I'm going to take a different note there. It's different each time. So I understand exactly what you're saying. Finally, you got to decide which one.
And vocalists generally want a roadmap, and sometimes I'll work, depending on who I'm working with, they need a very specific roadmap, where each note is plotted out and it has to be very, very specific. Other times when I'm in the studio producing a project, I'll say, okay, this is where I want you to begin, this is where I want you to end, and I don't care how you get there, just get there.
Exactly, yeah. I saw an interview with Miles Davis who said just about the same thing. He said when he gets new musicians, he doesn't give them too much information. And he says, you find your way from here to here. That's what he tells them in one of his songs, And I thought, oh, yeah, okay, I get that. And if they do it and he likes it, he keeps them, in his band. I always thought that was pretty cool.
Because you want people to evoke their own type of their own flair, their own flavor, and their own emotion into the piece. And Nashville session players really do that. Really do that well. Like you're saying, they play tons and tons of songs, but they really do. It's a piece of the whole puzzle as the piece comes to life. Everybody putting their stamp on their particular part, all coming together for the finished product.
Right, exactly right. The only time that doesn't necessarily work out so well for people is if somebody covers a song, and I'm more referring into the pop world, rock and roll world. If you cover a really famous song, for example, like a Beatles song, and you take it too far away, people complain. Because certain songs, they're just used to the original. And particularly stuff like the Beatles and things that are just so ingrained in people's head. And you take it too far away from the original and people don't like it. They start to complain.
Yeah, not every song needs to be covered. Either, and I think some people fall into that trap, where some tunes are just so, just so much on their own. There doesn't need to be another version of it done by anybody else. Although the work that we create here at See Your Shadow, and is generally all original. I think I've produced 2 covers in my entire. There's 2 covers in my catalog, and we were doing I was asked to write the theme song to the NAGAA World Series, and so after they heard the theme song, they asked me to put together a show and so I was like, okay, so we've got 10,000 softball players here. It's the largest amateur sporting event in the entire United States that they hold every year. And so I was like, okay, well, so what are we going to do here? And so we want something familiar and we want something baseball related. So we did the first ever techno dance version of Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
That sounds interesting.
Yeah, that's how we opened the show. It had never been done before, so it's actually one of our favorite pieces, and it's still selling like hotcakes over in Japan to this day, years later.
Wow.
And then I knew that we couldn't do all original work, so I was like, we need to cover something. And so I was racking my brain, and what I always tell people, the voice behind the theme song was a great vocalist. Her name is Sonia Latrice, and I always tell women and men, if you're going to do a cover, take a man song if you're a woman and make it your own, and if you're a guy, take a woman's song and make it and turn it into your own. And so what we did was we covered. There's a piece written back in 1978 called "You Make Me Feel Mighty Real" by a performer by the name of Sylvester. I don't know if you're familiar with his work or not. And we covered that, and that was and it's one of my better productions. I just love the fact that, and I was like, for a song that I didn't write myself, I was really proud of the project.
That sounds like that could turn out really well or really bad, depending on the song you pick. And I'll give you an example. It just popped into my head while you were talking. The Bee Gees song "Nights on Broadway"?
Yes. Okay,
that's a very famous song. Everybody knows that song. I heard a cover of that somebody did without that falsetto by Barry Gibb, and it just sounded horrible. It sounded, people were laughing when they heard it because they know that the song has that famous falsetto that Barry Gibb mastered, and that's the guts of the song, right? That's the part everybody remembers. That's the part everybody tries to fake in their little voice, and and so this guy did a version of that in almost a baritone voice. And I thought, oh my God, this is just not going to, it's not going to turn out well. And it didn't. It was a disaster. And again, it could go back to what I was saying before about if you take a song that's so famous and you take it too far away, people are going to complain. I think that rule applies in this case as well. So
yeah, exactly. And what was so funny though is because I kept that theory in mind when I knew that I was going to be doing a cover, and so I must have listened to the original piece probably 2,000-3,000 times before we went into the studio, thinking, okay, what am I going to change? What am I going to do differently? So it stands on its own, and we were able to I threw in a call and response section and a 5-part harmony in the bridge, and that it just took it really we were able to keep the vibe of the original and really make it our own, and so we were lucky that it turned out as good as it did. But you're right. It could have gone a million one directions.
We got to kind of move it along here. I'm looking at the time, and it's slipping by very quickly. Which track do you want us to play? Which one do you want to play now?
Well, our current song that's getting a lot of traction is our piece "I Will Tell Jesus You Said Hello."
Okay.
yeah, and that one is really, people are really responding well to that one, and it's a sentimental piece. It's sad, you know, but it brings hope, and I think it's what people need, and especially with everything that's going on in the country right now.
Yeah, it's a mess. It's the country's a complete mess. We don't even want to go there. That'll be a whole nother show. So this is "I Will Tell Jesus You Said Hello" by Michael Coleman.
He missed a ball playing catch with his dad. Forgot to look both ways. A car was coming way too fast. Doctors told his parents they had to make a choice in all the confusion. They heard his voice. Don't cry for me, it's gonna be okay. We will be together side by side one day. I know it hurts, but you must let me go. By the way, I will tell Jesus you said hello.
Kissed him on the cheek, said that last goodbye. Leaving that room, asking themselves why. Driving home in silence, they held each other's hand. Even through the quiet, they heard their little man. Don't cry for me, it's gonna be okay. We will be together side by side one day. I know it hurts, but you must let me go. By the way, I will tell Jesus you said hello.
Gray hair, lines in their face. They lay flowers on his grave. Though they still miss him, they're no longer sad, as they took comfort in his last words. Don't cry for me, it's gonna be okay.
It's gonna be okay.
We will be together side by side one day.
Side by side.
I know it hurts, but you must let me go. By the way, I will tell Jesus
I will tell Jesus you said hello.
Now, that was beautiful. Very nice.
Thank you.
So
Yeah. I mean, it's one of my favorites off of the new body of work.
Oh yeah, that's a hit. I mean, that it just has all the right stuff. You know, it's catchy. It's got a good message. I assume you're the male voice in that. You're singing, yeah?
No, I am not.
Oh,
actually, that is the vocalists on that project are Drew Middleton, and the woman is Katelyn Dwyer.
all right. So you wrote the song then?
Yes,
Okay.
yes, yeah. I'm the writer. I'm the writer and the producers. It's my that song actually was in my collection for quite some time, and then when we decided to move away from our dance music and solely focus on country, I pulled it back out. But I heard it as a duet, and so
it
we
works.
put it together as a duet.
Yeah, it works as a duet real well. Very nice. If for some reason I went back to, but it's a much slower song. It was that "Endless Love" song, Lionel Richie. You remember that one? But the duet part, if you took your track and slowed it down, you could fit in there somewhere. You know what I mean? That's what I was hearing in my head. So, very good, very nice. We do got to wrap this up. Thank you so much for coming on the show, and thank you for sharing your music and your See Your Shadow.
Thank you for having me. It's been quite the pleasure speaking with you.
Best of luck with this song. I know this song is going to do well. This is, if I was an A&R man, I'd say that is the single. That's the hit. It's very obvious that that's the one. So best of luck.
Well, we were recently the number one download on iTunes in South Africa, and we've been the number one requested song for 2 months in a row on the Sound Machine Radio Network.
Beautiful. That's fantastic. Michael, thanks again for coming on. Enjoyed talking to you.
All righty. All right. Take care now.
You're listening to Mr. Smooth and Savvy right here on the Douglas Coleman Show. We'll be right back after these commercial messages.
Hi there, this is Stuart Epps, record producer. This is my story about Elton John, working with him in those early years, going back to 1967 at Dick James, all the amazing tours, those first recordings, going through to Rocket Records. And it's an amazing story about his incredible rise to stardom and my part in that. So look forward to taking you on that journey. So here we go. Yeah, and to order this great audio CD, please just email me at stuartepps@talk21.com. That's Stuart, Stuart, Epps, EPPS, at talk, TALK, 21 in figures.com. Stuart Epps at talk21.com. Email me and I'll give you all the details for buying this brilliant audio disc. Thank you. Bye.
DJC Music and DJC Productions are pleased to announce a brand new website. We have started a listing website for radio show hosts as well as potential show guests. This is a meeting site where hosts and guests can come together. Show hosts can list their show and types of guests they're interested in booking. Potential guests can list their talents, bio, accomplishments, or anything they feel makes them an interesting radio show guest. There are no recurrent payments, only a one-time $5 listing fee. Your listing will stay up until you decide to cancel. Previous guests of The Douglas Coleman Show are welcome to submit their guest listing free of charge. Go to radiohostsandguests.com. That's radiohostsandguests.com.
Acclaimed author of Garden, Jane Yates brings you the first book in a new trilogy, Octopus Pirate, a story of a foundling who has unusual talents, such as the ability to communicate with octopuses. As a baby, he was washed up on an island off the Scottish mainland. An eccentric former nun who lives alone with cats brings him up. He joins a circus and narrowly escapes plots against him, flees to Cornwall, builds a replica pirate ship that's also an airship to travel back in time to fight real pirates. Get your copy today from Amazon, only 99 cents.
Tired of living in a culture of lies, fake news, and alternative facts? The Pro-Truth Pledge reverses the tide of lies by calling on politicians, and everyone else, to commit to truth-oriented behaviors. The pledge asks signees to commit to 12 behaviors that research in behavioral science shows lead to truthfulness, such as clarifying one's opinions and the facts, citing one's sources, and celebrating people who update their beliefs toward the truth. Private citizens who sign the pledge get the benefit of contributing to a more truth-oriented society. Public figures get more substantive rewards for signing the pledge in the form of positive media and public recognition. The pledge crowdsources the truth by asking volunteers to evaluate the statements of public figures who sign the pledge. Take the pledge, demand that your elected representatives do so, and encourage your friends to take it at protruthpledge.org.
Are you an independent musician? How would you like to have your songs played on hundreds of radio stations just like the one you're listening to right now? Join MusicSubmit.com and we'll promote your music to radio stations and blogs in your genre. It's free to set up your account, and we guarantee your music will be considered for airplay by radio stations worldwide. Why not sign up today? It's free. MusicSubmit.com. Radio promotion for indie musicians.
Hi, this is John Morgan, production supervisor for DJC Productions, and you're listening to The Douglas Coleman Show.
Dancing with the moon, I hope to be home soon. So I'm dancing with the moon. I hope to be home soon. I'm out all night, too drunk to go home. Dancing in the moonlight, I'm all alone. No longer strong to stand with this heart. Love was so full from the very start. She is smart, very pure. Her love was my cure. I'm out alone hearing my favorite song. Riding on the road so far along, hearing my song. I'll be home soon, but now I'm dancing with the moon. Will I be home soon? I will when I'm dancing with the moon. I'm dancing with the moon. Will I be home soon? I will when I'm dancing with the moon. I'm on my way home to be with my kids. Their mom's calling, mad as shit. I don't wanna go home to listen to it. I can't do it. Turn around sounds like I'm headed back to the bar. Time to party like a star. For good or evil, to know who you are in the dark. Well, I can't see. Blind by the facts. That night got an alcohol disease. A chronic drunk that fell over a stump, only to never get up and stuck. Dancing with the moonlight, I hope I go home soon. I'm dancing with the moonlight. Dancing with the moonlight, I hope I go home soon. I'm dancing with the moonlight. As the days go by now, I'm alone, my family is gone, waiting for divorce papers. Where did my life go wrong? Singing a sad song when I'm all alone, dancing with the moonlight as long as it can be, only to see what I see. Is the moonlight got the best of me? Life in my own shadow was a friend of mine, one of a kind, lost in a storm. I hope I'll be home soon. when I'm dancing with the moon.
Did you know I let my guard down? Did you mean to make me sad? Did you know my heart was breaking? I guess I was mistaken to go on that way, like any other day. Didn't want to fall under your spell. Don't know why this feels so bad. Escape this feeling. My whole world is reeling. Can't go on this way. Not another day. It's burning up, it's turning up, ignited by such warm desire. Don't blame me if we're playing with fire. Situation from the start. I'm not hiding from my past, but this burning revelation led us right into temptation. Can't go on this way like any other day. It's burning up, it's turning up, ignited by such warm desire. Don't blame me if we're playing with fire. It's getting harder by the minute, gone too far now to forget it, so you might as well admit it. Don't blame me if we're playing with fire. Don't blame me if we're playing with fire. Playing with fire.
glory and praise.
You save the souls of all who call on your name. Your name. Glory to your holy name. Glory to your holy name. We sing glory to your holy
Buckle up, 'cause I'm gonna tell you a story about a place called Whiskey Alley Blues.
Rockin' Johnny bought an axe, a 69 Fender Strat. Says it's gonna play his tunes down on Whiskey Alley Blues. But mama yells, go get a job. Says you ain't got the chops. Johnny knows he's got the feel. Packs his bags and disappears. Got on the hound, rode out of town, off to make the deal, the devil's deal. Rockin' Johnny Hilton Heights, got the crossroads in his sight, and that's the last we heard of him. 6 months on, the lights are dim. One old evening, the alley's rocking. Johnny and his Strat come a knocking. Makes his way to the stage and plugs his Strat and lets it wail. He rocked the house, blew the amps right out. That's when they know he's made the deal, the devil's deal. Rockin' Johnny's now a star. Sells out every club and bar. All the ladies want a piece. Making millions on the record deal.
Johnny, a man, a cat, and his strat. Yum. They want him to play the blues on a deal. And down to the crossroads is what he did. And all around, the blues is what he found. And he played his licks. And the girls went numb. But that's the end of Johnny. And that's the end of this story. Good night. And I'll see you at the crossroads.
To the mile, you've got to run, not walk. To give a sermon, you've got to preach, not talk. To reach the mountain, you've got to climb, not dream. To say you love me, you've got to speak, not scream. All the way on love, can't do it just halfway. All the way on love, it's a big price to pay. All the way on love, if you feel it, then they can stay. 'Cause all the way on love, find salvation, you've got to pray, not beg. Forget the answer, it can't be found that way. Love was simple, we'd have it every day. So keep on searching, and clear will come from grace. All the way on love, can't do it just halfway. All the way on love, oh, it's a big old price to pay. All the way on love, if you feel it, then make it stay. 'Cause all the way on love. So hold on tight, learn to give, not take. Just keep it real, learn to make, not break. You think it's easy, life is upside down. It's when they'll tell you you've got to turn